Point number one. A TV news program tend to deal with something extraordinary, something unusual, such as wars, big incidents, natural disasters, political conflicts, elections, and so on. Generally speaking, Japanese media tend to focus on political issues too much. Such being the case, I personally have been trying to deal with the topics more cultural, more usual, close to people's daily lives as much as possible. Point number two. I am making effort to explain the background of the phenomena and the current issues. The key word is why, resh. Why this issue or incident has taken place? Why is it so? I try to explain the cause and background as much as possible to the audience, sometimes using the comments or interviews with the local people or local analysts effectively. And point number three, I have been trying to be careful not to be influenced too much by the Western perspective. We have to be careful not to be too much dependent upon the Western news sources. We have to try to obtain information from plural and various and, of course, the reliable news sources as much as possible. We have to check and verify not only facts, but also our perspectives. Point number four, we have to be very careful about the term, word, and expression. One of the typical examples is the word terrorism. In NHK's news programs, we have a certain criteria in which we use the term terrorism. Actually, we limit the cases. Usually, we use the simple term attack instead of terrorism. Another example is how to express or explain the Hamas or Hezbollah group. Usually, I prefer to use the simple expression Islamist group instead of Islam fundamentalist group or Islam radical group, which are quite common in the Japanese media. The TV is a visual media which can introduce foreign people and culture very effectively. We can say so, especially when we broadcast the good movies or TV documentary programs. I sometimes select high-quality movies and TV documentary programs produced in the Middle East which are enjoying good reputations and introduce them in my TV commentary programs, explaining their backgrounds to the Japanese audience. I will give you one example. This is their papers, and the second last page, I show something. This is the NHK BS World documentary, which is NHK's program, high-quality TV documentary programs and films produced by foreign TV companies or productions, the Japanese editions. And A Way Out of the War on Terror, which is a program produced in Netherlands, 2008. And since the September 11th incident in 2001, there have been deep conflicts or divisions between the Western nations and the Muslim world. This documentary program focuses on the challenges and the struggles of three personalities who have been trying to overcome those conflicts and mistrust and misunderstanding. Their ultimate answer is to have dialogues with enemies and adversaries. The most impressive word in this program was the following sentence said by Mr. Michael Ancram, who is Member of Parliament, former Secretary of State of the Great Britain, who had an experience to seek dialogue with the IRA in the Northern Ireland issue. His word is, most important task for us is to have a dialogue with those whom we don't want to talk with and overcome the barrier. This is a strong criticism toward the war on terror approach of former US President George Bush, which is putting a label of terrorist or terrorist state unilaterally and refusing contacts, dialogues with opponents, adversaries. Such approach proved to be very counterproductive, reaching nowhere. Such commentary I put in the beginning or in the end of the program.